Hey, Kristin.
Hey, guys.
Bobby, you sound a little low, maybe?
See, that's because Michael complained about my volume earlier. He's like, Bobby, I can hear everything that's happening in your house. I'm like, okay, well, I put it exactly where you told me to put it. How's that? Too much?
That's
Good?
better.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. Yeah, I think one day I'm going to have like a lot of therapy because of Michael. In a good way, though. In a good way.
In a good way? How is that in a good way?
I don't know.
You're going to learn so much from the experience.
Yeah, I'm going to uncover feelings that traumas that I never knew I had.
Yeah, Michael's not joining us today, too, so we can't be like too mean to him.
I almost asked him. I refrained, but I'm going to say it now, so he's going to hear it at some point. I was like, what are you going to do if it's the best podcast we've ever recorded? Like it comes out to be.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I know.
He's going to be so salty.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
It made him deeply uncomfortable when my mother-in-law met him and was just like, I've seen you on the podcast. Like, I know you from the podcast. He got very
funny.
Went into his shell. I was like, oh, interesting.
He doesn't really like being a public face.
He doesn't want to be famous.
He doesn't. He also doesn't like being told, like being complimented.
Oh,
that's true. That's true. Sometimes Ariel did this like very brutal string of compliments. I think that was last week. It's like, you're well dressed and you're this and you're that and this. And you could tell he was just like dying. Like, no, stop.
I meant it all though.
I know. But you were doing it aggressively, like emotionally. It was an emotionally aggressive move. I thought it was funny though.
Is that what love bombing is? Is that what that's called?
Maybe.
I don't know. I think it depends on what website you're on.
One time, I don't know if you know about this, Bobby, but one time I got a text message, I think, from Michael, not even a Slack message, but a text message from him saying like, do you have a minute? And I was like, sure. Like I thought it was something work related. And he FaceTimes me and he's out to eat with like his friends and is like, these people like to listen to questionable decisions. These are our fans. And I'm like, this is really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What do I say?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, hi.
Yeah. So every time there's like bad news, I've had to ask him to stop doing this. When there's bad news, he just texts me and it says, hey, like that's it. No context, nothing else. And every time I see that, I'm like, oh, something's going wrong. I was like, moving forward, can you just tell me what's going wrong? Like, don't send me the hey first. Like, let's just get to
I saw something on Instagram where it was like someone said their boss like put a calendar invite on their calendar and it said like 30-minute meeting, good stuff, or like it had like good news in parentheses. I was like, that's actually really nice because like sometimes you get that dread, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like to start like performance reviews now with nothing bad's going to happen here. But then I feel like if I forget to say that one time, then that's like then I've like set it up for just being terrible, even if there was nothing.
Precedent.
Yeah,
see, I just always go into everything expecting the worst. Like always.
That's a good way to live. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because then you're pleasantly surprised if it's okay or like you're prepared for the worst. So.
Right. That sounds like you need therapy.
I
know. I don't relate to that at all. But I think it is a good way to operate. But I'm just like, I feel like I get demolished. Like I go into everything expecting the best. And then I get demolished if there's bad feedback. Like that will take me out.
Yeah. Whew. I think I know that does take me out. So I'm like, this is how I'm going to protect myself. Like I'm going to put this hard shell around me and then I am fully prepared. So, but it probably is a sign of like some mental health issue that I should get resolved with a professional.
Nah, I think we should just leave it.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's what makes you who you are, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, should we introduce our special guest, Bobby? Do you want to introduce Kristin?
Well,
Kristin, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Kristin, why don't you introduce? Well, I mean, Kristin's on the team. Kristin's dope. Yeah. But Kristin, I think it's best if you introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, thanks for you guys to letting me be on here today. I'm so excited. Long-time listener, first-time caller / guest. So yeah, I'm Kristin. I am a new member of the team and I am an accountant and bookkeeper and tax professional by trade. but these cool people let me hang out with them. So I feel very grateful for that. And yeah, just here having a blast.
Here,
What
where?
else should I say?
Tell people where
Well,
you are.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
really exciting.
I am actually in Valencia, Spain right now, kind of doing the digital nomad thing. So working, traveling. Yeah, it's been amazing. Every day, my day here looks like I wake up, go to the beach, have like a long tapas lunch with wine, work for a few hours.
Okay,
And
maybe stop.
then,
Maybe
Yeah,
don't tell.
I don't want to hear anymore.
okay, yeah, I don't know how much to indulge, but yeah, it's been amazing.
It sounds incredible. Can we make this can we do this? Can this be part of the Millennial Money Man work
No.
policy?
No, I think what we need to do is just work, put our heads down and work really hard and not have any fun.
Boring.
Okay. Dang.
I know. Well, this is what you signed up for, Ariel. So
I know.
You know.
Kristin, how long have you been in Spain right now? Has it been a couple months?
I've been in Europe for, it'll be 2 months by the time I leave here in a week and a half. So I've been in Europe for about 2 months, but bouncing between Germany, France, Spain, and then I go to Ireland tomorrow.
Wow.
So living the dream.
How long are you going to be in Ireland?
I'll be there for a little over a week, and staying in Cork, Ireland. But my best friend just moved there and she has a car. So hopefully we'll see a decent amount of the country.
Oh, that's super cool.
Will be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very cool. So more context, Kristin came in. She is the new instructor for a bookkeeping course that we have coming out very soon called Brilliant Bookkeeper. She's going to be teaching people how to make fancy internet money and travel to Ireland and Spain and do all the cool things and do books and all that. So if you're like a money dork or a dork's like such a mean word. I don't know why I said that. If you're like a money nerd or just a super organized person, you might want to check it out when that course comes out. But I don't want to promote it too heavily right now because that's not what this is about. We're going to be talking about questionable financial decisions.
Yes.
Oh, financial. Yes.
Okay. Well, I can go ahead and get into it.
Let's do
I have
it.
a good one. Let's do it. So this is from Reddit's Am I the Asshole? You're both familiar with how that works, right?
I'm actually not. You've said that a couple times and we've done that a couple times. And every time you say it, I'm like, that sounds kind of weird. But
okay. Well,
I avoid Reddit if at all possible. Cause it seems like a dangerous place to be.
Oh, it's so good though. I'm a Reddit lurker. I love it.
Wow.
I've
So you don't actually
recently
post anything
become
now?
a lurker too.
Never.
Okay. What do you mind sharing Kristin, what do you lurk? Like, what are you checking out?
The biggest thing right now is like I use it as a search engine because when you Google things, it's all of the like SEO articles that really don't have any substance, but like just, maybe just
Except
have.
for ours.
Yeah, I was like, I feel kind of attacked right now, but
no, ours have the substance. Ours have the substance. You get a lot of like, just
yeah,
you get a lot of garbage. I know what you mean.
You do.
You get
and if you want
ads and all that stuff.
Yeah. And it depends on what you're searching for. Like if you're searching, like, for example, I was trying to find like a pair of shoes that were good for travel and I just like search Reddit instead of searching the internet.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to use it. This is my guilty pleasure is like reality dating shows. And it's great for like all the hot gossip on those, like the fan theories about stuff. So I enjoy lurking in those places as well.
Yes, same. I wasn't going to say it, Ariel, but I'm glad you did. Because so same.
Yes. I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to share
on that Bachelor.
Yeah, we did.
Go through it?
Yeah,
it was like, is it worth it being on the show or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we decided, Kristin, that it is. If you want to become like a famous influencer, that it's worth it to go on, Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Mm-hmm. You just can't be those like two people that they villainize every season. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of roulette in that way. But if you're not, yeah, it's great.
Okay. So Bobby, since you're not familiar with this, Am I the Asshole is just people go on and ask questions and then others comment on it saying if the person is an asshole or not. So like, am I the asshole for not using my husband's hilarious quote unquote gift? Am I the asshole for telling my sister why I'm acting cold during family dinner that was thrown in my honor after. Yeah, there's some really weird ones in here.
So there's some weird ones. Okay, so what do you got for us?
Am I the asshole for refusing to donate at work? Backstory, I started working at a new job in January 2023. I graduated college in December 2022. I have quite a bit of student loans and debt racked up in college, and I honestly don't get paid too much. I budget pretty strictly, and I live mostly paycheck to paycheck. Anyways, there was a situation in my workplace that has come up over the past few months that has me wondering if I'm an asshole. First of all, there's always some kind of baby shower or bridal shower or wedding or something to donate money towards a group gift from the workplace. My manager will come up to us directly and ask for donations for these things for other people that work there. I am new and keep to myself, so I barely know these people, so I have never donated. I also don't have any extra money to donate to people I don't know. I also don't know that I would ever ask any of my coworkers for anything monetary, and I would never expect them to donate to me if I were getting married or whatever. The other day, my manager was passing around a card for the people who donated to sign, and she made kind of a spectacle about me not signing it because I didn't donate. Now I'm wondering if I'm an asshole. Is there some kind of unwritten rule that you have to donate to these things? All right, what do we think? First impressions.
Well, I'm going to answer your question with a question. Do you do like if you go to Taco Bell, which I wouldn't recommend that either, but okay. I'd go sometimes. When you go and they say like, hey, do you want to round up $1 to charity for some kind of whatever? Do you do that?
Sometimes.
See, I do sometimes too. Because sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, oh, come on, don't be cheap. And then sometimes I'm like, wait a second, where's this dollar going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's getting this dollar?
That's the thing.
How much
I
of this dollar?
don't ever do it. I don't feel like the social pressure to donate if everyone else is donating. Like, I don't know. Because
you don't get up to the window
details.
And feel bad? You don't feel bad like telling the person?
No.
That's like,
because they don't know me. Like, I could donate 90% of my net worth. They don't know me.
What if it's for children though? Like, that's the one that always gets me when they're like, do you want to help the children? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, I do want to help the children, but
the very
I don't know if I want to do it through Taco Bell
that don't have books or shoes, like,
yeah. I'm like, what is my dollar going to get them? But then I'm like, man, if I don't do this, then this teenager that's getting like handing me my tacos is going to think I'm a jerk. Mm-hmm. So I really think about that,
Well, let me ask you guys this. Is it driven more by social pressure or like wanting to help the child on the other end?
So here's where
I'm like an awful person or anything, but
here's where I'm the asshole. It is fully social pressure. It is not.
It's like, screw those kids.
No, I mean, I feel like I do donate time and money to things that I do feel strongly about. But in those situations, it is fully like, oh my God, the Walgreens cashier is going to, judge me, or the person behind me is going to, judge me. Especially also if you're like, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you're like buying, it's like something expensive or like something that seems like frivolous. And you're like, no, I'm not going to round up to the next dollar.
That's true.
Oh,
I relate to that. Those are the only times I consider it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm buying groceries, whatever. But if I'm buying freaking makeup and whatever else.
You're at Sephora buying like a $40 thing of mascara. It's like,
can you give $1 to the children? You're like, no, I can't afford that. For me, it's a percentage. It's like 70%. I don't want to look like a jerk, but then 30% of me is like, am I a person that cares about donating to children? And I'm like, I think I am, but I don't know if I want to do it this way. But then I also do this game where I tell myself like, no, I'll just donate like on my own to like the real thing instead of through Taco Bell, and then I never do it because I forget.
Right.
So, but it's mostly about the social pressure. It's like these people, I just imagine these people sit there all day. They take like 1,000 orders a day and like they roll through and they're like, oh, that's a good person. Ooh, this person's a shitbag. Oh, that's a good person. Ooh, this is a terrible person. That's what I imagine is going through their heads when really they probably don't care at all.
Do you think they're going to like make your food better if you, well, because I guess at that point your food's already made, but
I think they won't spit in it next time.
Yeah, because they're going to recognize your car and your
yeah, they can be like, "Oh, that's the guy that didn't do the dollar for the kids."
He ordered 5 Crunch Wraps and did not round up.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a social pressure. So I asked that so that I can get a little bit of context about how everybody operates here before we get into the real questionable decision to answer.
Well,
So
I
we'll
have
go
another
back to that.
question on this though,
Oh.
the like donating thing. As a bookkeeper, Kristin, can you like how do you I mean, if you were to donate all these little things, like that seems crazy to keep track of all of that to write off on taxes and everything, but like do you see people doing that? Like tracking the 37 cents
It
or
would not be prudent because ultimately you really don't have like good proof. Like, I don't know if they even itemize it on your receipt. Like, how do you trace it back to the charity to make sure it's a qualified nonprofit and not some like fly by night, whatever? So yeah, I would
That's really
not
interesting.
recommend it. And I've never seen anyone do it. And I really don't think it would stand up well in like an IRS audit.
Mm-hmm.
I think a funny prank to play on your accountant would be like to donate $30,000, but like in the form of these $1 donations across like every time you could do it. And you know
Bobby,
what I mean?
no, literally
Kristin's like
no.
never. They would fire you.
If I'm in business for like 40 years and I just don't give a shit anymore, I might do that at some point just for fun, just on the way out. You know what I mean? Just to burn the place down on the way out. So that's a good question, though, Ariel. I always think about this stuff. Yeah, and then Kristin, do you judge people based on the amount that they donated or didn't donate? Like if you have a client that made $30 million last year and then they donated like $200 to Goodwill.
It will. Okay, so let me tell you this. It will add to my perception of them. Like if I already think they're a good person and I'm like, oh, they are just like a good human being. And then I see that they do all these donations. I'm like, oh yeah, they're the best. But I've had ex-clients that I kind of thought were like assholes, but they donated a lot of money and it did not change any of the way I felt. Mm-hmm. Like I did not, because ultimately, like I do think a lot of the people that are just like assholes are probably doing it for the tax write-off. That's the primary driver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think that's bad? Because
Bobby's like, please say no. Please say no.
It's not bad because at the end of the day, they are donating. They are contributing. They're trying to net out all of the awful crap that they put into this world.
Did you just say Bobby's putting awful crap into the world?
Whoa, I didn't say that's not, no. I wasn't saying that for me.
Bobby.
That wasn't about me at all. That was just a question in general out loud.
But you would be one of those clients that's already the great person in the eyes of whoever. So
I agree with that.
You're safe.
But so when/if I were to make a donation, what would I need to say to make you feel like it wasn't me just doing it just to get the tax write-off? Is it like, do I have to play it off like, oh, it's not about the tax write-off, I just want to do this? Like, how do I say that to my accountant?
You have to write a 5-paragraph essay about every donation you make that like really proves that your heart's in it.
I might not do that.
I mean, it's fine if it's about the tax write-off, but ultimately, if you want to have that perception be that it's not about the tax write-off, do it without looping your tax accountant in. Like I have clients that are like, oh, like, should I donate? Like, would that help me? Instead of being like, I want to donate.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. I won't ever say that then.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. All right. That's good. I'll never make that mistake ever.
And then also keep in mind, like, I feel like what this Redditor is talking about is not donations. It sounds like he's talking about like gifts to a friend in the office.
Well, it sounds like it's not friends in the office. It sounds like it's just the manager's coming around and is like, Barb's getting married this weekend. Let's buy her a KitchenAid mixer. Everybody throw in $25, you know? And the Redditor's like, no, I don't know Barb. And I don't make any money. Or I don't have enough money, enough extra to put towards Barb's KitchenAid mixer. And I think that this is okay. You know, I feel like if you don't want to donate, especially as a new employee, like, no.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Like who is the supervisor? They said it was a supervisor that was going around and like oh, this person didn't donate. Like, what a terrible person that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The how could you sit there and do that and be like, yeah, this feels good, and make this person feel terrible? Is there any situation where that's okay though? I'm trying to think through the counter argument on that. No, right?
I don't think so.
Should you ever make
Not
somebody
to
feel bad 'cause they
not to
didn't pay money for
publicly
something?
shame somebody for something that is like, I mean, I don't think you should I don't think that you should probably publicly shame somebody because they were doing a bad job at work, but like, this is not work. This is not how they are doing their job. This is just, they didn't want to donate. I think that is wrong to publicly shame someone for that. And again, not donate, like give money to buy a gift for someone.
Yeah,
not make a charitable donation.
I mean, it is a little awkward. I don't know. It's like a little awkward. Like, it depends on how well you know. If this person didn't know the person at all, like,
it sounds like no. And this person published this so in May, and they started at this job in January. So they've been at this job for like 5 months, which is not a lot of time.
Yeah. I mean, unpopular opinion, I don't like group gifts at all. Like when your friends even ask you like, hey, you want to throw in money and get so-and-so something? Because it's like, how much do you know to throw in? Like you don't want to be that person that doesn't throw in as much as everyone else. But like, you know what I mean?
What if I told you that that's how we do all of our gifts here at Millennial Money Man?
Oh, is it?
Kristin's like leaves the recording.
No, we don't do that.
That's a hard line for me. No. I think
do we?
I don't think so.
We don't do that. Yeah, we don't do that.
I think when it comes to like gifts with your friends, I will do it if like, I don't know, like a baby shower or something. Someone's, a friend's like, they want, this like $500 baby shower, or not baby shower, $500 stroller. Like, do you want to go in on this with me? Like, are you okay to split it? Just like being very clear about like the expectation of how much you would have to go in on it. And then you can say like, yeah, I'm willing to put in $250 for that, or no, because that's more than you wanted to spend or something. But I agree when it's like a group gift that's kind of like, do you just want to throw in some money for this thing? Like, be more specific.
Yeah. Like it sucks when you're doing that with friends, let alone at work, like this Redditor. Like I think it's just they're putting him in a shitty situation, you know?
So on the flip side of it, because it seems like we're all pretty much in agreement that this person should feel fine saying no, and that it's shitty that the manager like shamed them about it. But the other side of it that I was wondering about, like, is this going to hurt them in their career? Like, is the manager not going to, kind of, I mean, this would be, again, the manager would be a horrible person for doing this, but would the manager like maybe put someone else up for a promotion over this person because they're not like a team player? And so would it potentially hurt them long-term for not doing this? And is this just like part of the cost of working,
I think it would. I think it would hurt them because ultimately the manager will start to form some sort of like unconscious biases, and it will, it'll come out in ways, like ultimately, if I was this person, I would contribute the money and look for another job. Like this company culture just sounds awful. Like I think it's probably one of those like old school companies where they're all in cubicles and like rigid management structure. Like I don't know. The vibes are off. Too.
I imagined cubicles.
Yeah.
Side note:
the vibes
have either of you worked in a cubicle before?
No.
Like a cubicle office? You have?
Oh yeah.
Is it as like like gut wrenching as it seems?
It's horrible. It's literally horrible. I mean, I've worked in cubicles. I've worked in windowless conference rooms. You name it. Yeah, it's awful.
That's why you're in Spain right now.
I know.
The trauma.
I do have like trauma from it, for real. It's not fun.
Like you can't go in conference rooms? Like what's a trauma?
I need places that are well lit. Like lighting is very important. I need to see a window at all times.
Oh, so you're being
I mean,
serious.
yeah.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
for real. For real, Bobby.
Okay. Good to know. Good to
My
know.
husband is starting a new teaching job this coming year, and he's an art teacher, and art classrooms notoriously have no windows in them. And this will be his first year of teaching, and he's been teaching for 15 plus years. It'll be his first year of teaching where he will be in a windowless room for like 8 hours a day. And I don't know how he's going to do it.
Wait,
I'm
why
like,
do art classrooms not have windows?
I think because they're often, the way that schools are built is like the larger classrooms, like art or music, are often in the center of the building, and then the classrooms surround them, or they're in the basement or something. Is that true in your experience, Bobby?
When I was in high school, I remember that our room did have windows.
Mm.
When I was a teacher, though, did the art? I honestly don't even know where the art people were when I was a teacher.
I feel like it depends on the maybe
they were
what
hidden.
year the school was built too, like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know. But yeah, either way, that sounds terrible. What was the question that is like, should this person be like playing the game of
Yeah.
like trying to move up in the office? I think I'm going to say yes. I agree. They probably should get a different job or something. But like on the flip side, if I have the both of you seen The Office?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I saw somebody that was clearly doing it like Andy from The Office, where he is just like always just like trying to like be on the best side, and he's like playing the game, and he's like trying to move up and befriend the right people and all that, that would piss me off. I would not want to promote that person at all. Like I would actually want to punish that person. And can I say that as somebody that owns a company? Am I allowed to say stuff like that out loud? I don't know. I wouldn't be happy with that as a manager. So I would see, I don't know, if I felt like they're just donating, but I feel like I wouldn't actually know either. I don't know.
I bet a lot of the people are just donating because they feel like they have to. Like, I think that's probably what's happening.
That's probably true. Yeah,
I mean, what if this person just said every time, "Oh, I'm going to get that person something separately"? You know what I mean?
You're better than everybody else. You know what I mean? Then you're like, I'm not going to do this nonsense. I'm going to get them something personal. And then everybody's looking at them like, oh, is this a man or a woman?
That's true. Not a team player. Yeah.
Steve is always trying to outdo us. You know what I mean? Then everybody hates you that way. So I don't think that I think what you have to do in this situation is just pay the money and go get another job. Pay the money and shut up and go get a job,
Yeah, I think that's probably true. And like, we don't know how much they're being asked to donate. Like, could you just give them like $10, $20, something like that? Like, it doesn't have to be a large chunk of money. And maybe even they like talk to the manager. Like, you could pull them aside. Like, I don't know how this would go, but hey, I want to start doing this. I have like, I budget it in this amount that I can do. I'm letting you know this in advance so that there's not like some weird feelings. I don't know that they need to do that, but
yeah,
it's an option.
Can I tell a story that's very similarly related to what we were talking about? Actually, directly related. So we were at breakfast. We go to the same place for breakfast every Friday morning. Like, everybody knows our kid. We have a table that we sit at. So we're just sitting there, and then this kid, I'm going to say he was like 14. He looked a little like disheveled, sort of, but he was walking around with a box of M&Ms and like a big, like one of the big fundraiser boxes. And he was going from table to table, and he was like, "Hey, would you like to donate $3 to a children's cancer fund?" And he said something. And so I saw him, and in that moment, I was like, you know what? I'm feeling good today. It's Friday. I feel happy, and this is awesome. Yeah, heck yeah, give me one of those. So I gave him $3, and I happen to have cash. I never have cash. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I give him $3, and then I'm eating, and then I look up like 5 minutes later, and he's sprinting out the front door, and a getaway car like screeches in front of the building, and like all of the restaurant workers were like chasing him out of there because he just was scamming everybody in there.
Oh.
Like, he was just taking he stole, I think what happened is he stole the box of M&Ms, and then they were just, their hustle was that they were going to restaurants and pretending like they were supposed to be there getting donations. And the funny thing about it is that I did it, and I think my wife or so, like, they got up from the table, And I was embarrassed because I was like, I just got scammed. Like, I'm like a personal finance expert, and I just got scammed out of $3 by some kid that stole a box. And so I didn't want to say anything about it. And then I talked about it later to my wife. I was like, you know what happened? Like, I got that kid, he screwed us, you know?
What did she say? What was her response? Was she embarrassed by you?
Maybe disappointed. I don't know. She just thought it was kind of funny. But I mean, yeah, they had a whole the car was like screeching in front of the thing. And he jumps in and then it like takes off. Like,
what a good hustle, you know?
I know. I was starting to think about it. I was like, dude, if you do that, he probably made a quick $40 and like how many restaurants are in the area and they're just going place to place to place, you know? Mm-hmm. It's like, that's it's not a legal side hustle, I don't think, but man, no. It's effective.
Yeah, but it's like I don't like hate him for it. Like he was.
I didn't either.
$3 to deliver some M&Ms, like fair price.
Right.
I was like, what if? I was like, maybe this is like an entrepreneur spirit
too. You know, like he didn't have to stolen the box of M&Ms. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's totally true. It could have been a pure entrepreneurial play that might have had a lie about kids and cancer.
Yeah,
but like, I think if Michael was on this with us right now, he would feel completely different. Cause I'm kind of like, you know what? Like, that's actually kind of impressive. Like he's got like some smart business acumen. He's just using it for evil instead of good right now. Like what if he turns it around and becomes like a great entrepreneur?
I think so too. And like how evil really is he? Like he's really not like super ripping people off. It's $3. Like,
right.
I don't know. I don't hate him for it.
And maybe he really needed that money. You said he was kind of disheveled looking. Like maybe he needed like a new pair of shoes or something, you know?
But and I couldn't figure out, was that part of the act? You know, like the look, was that part of the whole thing? Or like, I don't know. There was a lot that went on, but yes, I got scammed out of $3.
Well, here in Spain, it's hard because there's someone sitting in front of like every church. Like every time you walk out of any church, there is someone like sitting there, and a lot of them are like looking the part, and it's hard. I mean, you just don't know. That's what's hard about giving people on the street is you just don't know.
Yeah, I also love that they're like in front of a church too. Like that's like they're like these are the people that are going to donate. Maybe
it's savvy.
That is.
I think tough. You, Bobby, buying that bag of M&Ms, whether the kids scam you or not, it came from a good place. Like it shows your good heart. So I think that
thank you.
Yeah, no,
it was legitimately. Oh, good.
No, I was going to say that's what I always think with scammers, because like I don't know if you guys have ever had like in my city people will come up and be like have an elaborate story like I need $2 for a bus fare, like I need to get on the last bus to Lexington, Kentucky, like XYZ. And yeah, they're scamming, I'm sure, but it's like clearly they needed that money more than I did in that moment if they're like out there hustling for $2.
That's probably true.
I've told this story before, but I have like once invited a woman who said she was homeless and her child to come and stay with me.
That is such a wild story. I can't believe it. Okay, sorry, keep going.
No, because she was like she was outside of a shop asking for money to get to the bus because her, boyfriend was abusive and she needed to get away or something like that. And I didn't have any cash, but I felt awful for her. And she was holding this like, baby. And I was just like, you can come and stay with me instead. And she was like, nope.
She said no.
Well, she didn't say no. I like had to run into the store to grab something. And I was like, I'll be right back. And when I got out, she was gone. She was like, I'm not going to this stranger's house.
Like, no, bitch. I just wanted the money.
Right. And in that scenario, I would just just tell me you need $10. Like, don't give me the story about why you need it. Just tell me you want money.
Your sense of danger is like so low. You're just like, you know what? I've never met you before. I don't know anything about you. You want to stay with me? Like, ooh, man, that's how news stories happen.
Like, she assessed the situation.
Yeah.
It was a woman and a baby.
Yeah.
Was your husband at home too that night?
He was at home, and I called him just to like give him a heads up when I was in the store to let him know what I had done. And he was like, oh, okay. He wasn't like, he was kind of shocked, rightfully so. And he like went through the house and like hid all the kitchen knives.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. Oh Oh my gosh. Yeah. You're just asking for like, getting all your stuff stolen or getting stabbed or they live with you and they decide they're not leaving. Like you see those stories where people are like, this is my house now. You know what I mean?
Squatters.
Well, then could I write them
Yeah.
off on my taxes though? Could they be
You
like
could.
a dependent? So, you know,
Absolutely, Ariel.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
you're
Just-
scheming the schemer.
that's
Just
You
make
are
sure
right.
you don't
scheming
say
the
that's why
schemer.
you're doing it. Though.
But I won't come to my accountant or bookkeeper and say, I'm thinking about taking in a stranger.
Will this help me if I take in a stranger? That's what you have to avoid saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
Because
that's a
then
good
you're
place.
immediately an awful person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for the wrong reasons. All right, Kristin, thank you so much for being here and sharing your time abroad with us. And thank you all for listening. We have a number in the show notes that you can text if you have a questionable decision and you want us to judge or weigh in on. We also have an email list in the show notes. You should definitely join that. We send out incredible emails every week, and we would love to send them to you as well. We'll be back next week and talk soon.